Hello, and welcome to this English learning story. Today, you and I are going to take a long walk through the city on a rainy day. This is a shadowing practice story. That means you will listen to me, and then you will repeat what I say, like my echo, like my shadow. Try to follow my voice. Try to follow my rhythm. Don't worry if you are slow at first. With practice, you will grow faster, more natural, more confident. Are you ready? Let's begin. I woke up to the sound of rain. The drops were gentle at first, then a little stronger. The city was already alive, even under the rain. Cars were moving on the wet streets. Buses were rolling with a low hum. People were rushing with umbrellas in their hands. And I was lying in bed, listening. I stretched my arms. I yawned. I whispered to myself, "It's a rainy day, but it's going to be a good day." I slowly got up. I opened the window a little. A cool breeze entered the room. It smelled fresh, like clean air, mixed with the scent of wet ground. I closed my eyes. I breathed deeply. And I felt calm. I got ready for the day. I put on my jeans, my jacket, and my shoes. I grabbed my umbrella. I stepped outside. The first thing I saw was the reflection of the tall buildings on the wet ground. The city looked like a mirror. Lights were bouncing. Colors were blending. The rain made the whole city shine differently. I walked down the street. I turned the corner, and I saw my favorite coffee shop. Its windows were foggy. Its door was warm with golden light. I smiled and stepped inside.
Good morning.
The barista said. "Good morning," I replied.
What would you like today?
She asked. "I'll have a cappuccino, please," I said, "and maybe a croissant." She nodded. She wrote it down.
1 cappuccino, 1 croissant. Coming up.
I found a small table by the window. I sat down. Outside, the rain kept falling. People were walking fast. Cars were splashing water on the street. And I was inside, safe and warm. The barista brought my coffee.
Here you go.
She said. "Thank you," I smiled. I held the cup in my hands. It was hot. Steam was rising slowly. I took a sip. The taste was rich. The milk was smooth. The foam was soft. It was perfect. I watched the world outside as I ate my croissant. The rain kept painting the city. And I thought to myself, rain is not sad. Rain is beautiful. Rain gives life. Rain gives meaning. After finishing my coffee, I put on my jacket again. I opened my umbrella. I stepped back into the rain. The streets were shining with puddles. I walked slowly. I enjoyed every sound. The rain was falling on the umbrella. My shoes touched the water on the street. The city was alive with sound. I passed by a bookstore. Its windows were full of colorful covers. I stopped. I looked inside. And I decided to enter. The bookstore was quiet. The smell of books filled the air. I walked between the shelves. I touched the covers. I read the titles. I loved the feeling of being surrounded by stories.
Can I help you?
A man asked. He was the shopkeeper. He wore glasses. He smiled kindly. "I'm just looking, thank you," I said.
Take your time.
He replied. I found a poetry book. I opened it. I read one line. The rain falls, and the heart listens. I closed the book and smiled. How perfect, I thought. It matched the day. It matched my mood. I bought the book. The shopkeeper put it in a paper bag.
Stay dry out there.
He said. I will, I answered. And I stepped back into the rain. As I walked further, I saw a woman standing without an umbrella. She was trying to cover her head with a newspaper. The rain was too strong. I stopped. I walked closer. "Excuse me," I said. "Do you want to share my umbrella?" Her eyes widened. She smiled.
Really? Thank you so much.
We walked together for a while. "It's a heavy rain," I said.
Yes, and I forgot my umbrella at home.
She laughed. "Where are you going?" I asked.
To the bus stop.
She replied. "Perfect," I said. "I'm walking in that direction too." We talked as we walked. She told me about her work. I told her about my favorite coffee shop. She laughed when I described the foam on my cappuccino. Soon, we reached the bus stop. The bus was already waiting.
Thank you for sharing your umbrella.
She said. "You're welcome," I replied. She waved. I waved back, and the bus took her away. I smiled as I continued walking. Sometimes small kindness creates a big memory. By now, the rain was softer. The clouds were lighter. The air was cool. I walked into a small park. The trees were wet. The flowers were shining. The grass was fresh. Children were playing, even in the light rain. They were laughing. They were running. They didn't care about being wet. Their joy was louder than the rain. I sat on a bench. I opened the poetry book I had just bought. I read another line. Every drop is a story. Every storm is a lesson. I thought deeply. Yes, life is like rain. Sometimes heavy, sometimes soft. But always meaningful. I stayed there for a long time. Just reading, just listening, just breathing. The rain became my friend. The afternoon was growing darker. The clouds were heavy, and the rain kept falling. I was still walking through the streets, but now I felt more comfortable. The sound of the rain had become a kind of music. It was soft, steady, and calming. I thought to myself, sometimes life is like this rain. At first, it feels heavy and difficult. But if you listen carefully, it can also bring peace. As I walked, I noticed an old man standing under a broken umbrella. He was selling roasted chestnuts on the corner. The smoke rose into the air, mixing with the mist. I walked up to him and said, "Hello, sir. It must be hard to work in the rain." He smiled gently and replied,
Rain or shine, people still need something warm to eat.
I bought a small bag of chestnuts. They were hot, smoky, and delicious. As I ate them, I felt warmth spreading through my hands and my heart. The old man looked at me and said softly,
Young people always hurry, but on rainy days, remember to slow down.
I nodded. His words stayed in my mind. The rain grew heavier again. I found shelter under a bus stop roof. Several people were waiting there. A mother with her child, 2 students with backpacks, and a tired-looking office worker. We all stood silently, listening to the sound of the rain. It felt like we were strangers, yet for a moment, we shared the same world. The bus arrived, and people hurried inside. I decided not to take it. I wanted to keep walking through the rainy city. So I walked on. Soon, I reached the Riverside. The river was wide, dark, and mysterious in the rain. I leaned on the railing and watched the raindrops hit the water. Each drop created a small ripple, spreading out into the river. I thought, maybe people are like raindrops. Each of us creates small ripples in the world. A young woman with a sketchbook sat nearby, drawing the rainy scene. I asked her, "Why do you draw in the rain?" She replied with a smile,
Because rain makes everything alive. The city shows its true face.
I admired her passion. As evening approached, the city lights began to shine. They reflected on the wet streets, creating colorful patterns. The rain made the city more beautiful, not less. I whispered to myself, "This rainy day is not an obstacle, it's a gift." I stopped by a small bookstore to dry off. The shop smelled of old paper and fresh coffee. I browsed the shelves, running my fingers along the spines of books. Each book felt like a voice from the past. I picked one up and read a line. Even in the storm, the heart can stay calm. The words touched me deeply. After leaving the bookstore, I walked toward home. The rain was lighter now, almost like a mist. I passed by the same coffee shop from the morning. Through the window, I saw the barista still working, still smiling. She waved at me when she recognized my face. That simple gesture warmed my heart. Finally, I reached my apartment. I took off my wet clothes, made a hot cup of tea, and sat by the window. The rain was still falling outside, but now I felt safe and calm. I whispered one last thought to myself. Life is not about waiting for the rain to stop. Life is about learning to walk in the rain. Thank you for listening to this shadowing story. I hope today's rainy journey gave you peace, comfort, and new English expressions to practice. Remember, just like the rain, challenges in life can teach us calmness and strength. Stay motivated, keep practicing, and never stop learning. See you in the next episode.